topics, and our today's topic of discussion is the brachial plexus. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to draw a diagram of the brachial plexus with all its branches, enumerate the root value of all the branches of the brachial plexus, and identify the lesions of the brachial plexus. As you know, that we have got a system of coordination in our body, which is known as the nervous system. It has got two main anatomical parts. One is the central nervous system, which is composed of brain with the spinal cord, and the other one is the peripheral nervous system, which is composed of cranial nerves that arise from the brain directly, and the spinal nerves that arises from the spinal cord. Okay, we have got 12 pairs of cranial nerves, which means that 12 cranial nerves arise from the left side while 12 arise from the right side. Similarly, we have 31 pairs of the spinal nerves. And the brachial plexus is basically a network of these spinal nerves, basically the spinal nerves from C5 to T1. Okay, we have got 5 spinal nerves: C5, C6, C7, C8, and the T1. These 5 nerves, as they emerges from the spinal cord, they have got 2 rami. One is the ventral rami and the other are the dorsal rami. Dorsal rami are not concerned with the plexus formation, but these are the ventral rami from C5 to T1, which arises from the cervical and the thoracic region, and they merge with each other and then form new branches. Okay, and this plexus is known as the brachial plexus. Okay, by the word plexus we basically means the network. Okay, so brachial plexus is a network of nerves which lies in the neck and the axilla, and it is formed by the ventral rami of C5 to T1, these roots. Okay, and these give rise to nerves which basically are meant for innervation of the upper limb. Now we have got different components of the brachial plexus from proximal to the distal. Okay, as we progress from the spinal cord towards the axilla and the arm, we have got various components of the brachial plexus which can be memorized by the word RTDC. Okay, we have got a here Pakistan Tourist Development Corporation, PTDC. Okay, and if we replace the word P with R, the alphabet P with the R, then this becomes the RTDC. So R, T, D, and C. From R, R stands for roots. Okay, the most proximal part of this plexus, these parts, they are called as the roots of the brachial plexus, and we have got 5 roots that are basically the 5 ventral rami of the spinal nerve C5 to T1. Then these roots, they combine in different manner that I will show you in a while, and they form 3 trunks: the upper, the middle, and the lower trunk. Then each of these trunk divide into 2 divisions. Okay, so that each trunk divides into anterior and a posterior division. Then each anterior and posterior division, now we have got 6 divisions from 3 trunks. We have 6 branches. These 6 branches combine with each other in a specific manner to form the cords. Okay, and then from these cords arises the branches of the brachial plexus. Here I will show you. Here we have got, let me take a highlighter or laser point. Okay, we have got the most proximal part of the brachial plexus. These are basically the 5 branches of the ventral rami of the spinal nerve from C5 to T1, and these are known as the roots. Okay, C5, C6, C7, C8, and the T1. These are the roots of the brachial plexus. Then the upper 2 root, they combine to form the superior trunk, and the lower 2 roots, they combine to form the inferior trunk, and the middle one, the middle root, that is the C7, it continues as such to form the middle trunk. Okay, so we have got 5 roots, and then from 5 roots are formed the three trunks, namely the superior, middle, and the inferior. This is known as superior because it is situated in a higher position in a body relative to the other two. This is having inferior position, hence got the name, and this is present in between these two. That's why it is known as the middle trunk. Then from each trunk arises two divisions, anterior and posterior from the superior trunk, anterior and posterior from the middle trunk, and anterior and posterior from the inferior trunk. So now we have got 6 branches that are now known as the divisions. Now all the 3 posterior divisions, here you can see all the 3 posterior divisions, they combine to form a single nerve, okay, and this is known as the posterior cord. All the 3 posterior divisions, they form a single posterior cord, okay. Now the lateral cord, this is formed by the combination of anterior divisions, okay, the anterior divisions from the superior and the middle trunk. These two anterior divisions, they combine to form the lateral trunk, while the remaining one, the anterior division from the inferior trunk, it continues as such and forms the medial trunk, okay. So we have got 5 roots, 3 trunks, 6 divisions, and again we have got 3 cords. This is known as lateral cord, this is medial, and this is posterior. And these are in relation to second part of an artery known as the axillary artery that I will show you in a while, okay. Now let's discuss the location of various parts of the brachial plexus. Mind one thing, that the divisions, they are situated just behind the clavicle, okay. Divisions are situated just at the level of the clavicle, or we can say their divisions are present just behind our clavicle bones, okay. The other parts, that are the root and the trunks, that are proximal to the divisions, they can be called as supraclavicular parts of the brachial plexus. The roots and the trunks, they are the supraclavicular parts of the brachial plexus. Divisions occur at the level of the brachial plexus, while we have got cords and branches that are lying below the clavicle, and hence these are known as the infraclavicular part of the brachial plexus. So we have got 2 main parts of the brachial plexus. One is the supraclavicular part composed of roots and trunks, and we have got an infraclavicular part of the brachial plexus which includes the cords and the branches, while at the level of the clavicle we have got the divisions, okay. Now let's be more specific. The roots, they basically they are situated behind the scalenus anterior muscle and emerges between these scalene muscle. Here you can see this is the middle scalene muscle, this is the anterior scalene muscle, and here the roots are present. Here the roots arises in between these two muscles, okay. Next we have the trunks, and the trunks, they basically cross the lower part of the posterior triangle of the neck. Here you can see above the clavicle, this is the posterior triangle of the neck, and here the trunks are present. Then at the level of the clavicle we have got the divisions, and then the cords are just below the clavicle, okay. The cords are, they lie below the clavicle, and they are arranged around the second part of the axillary artery in the axilla, okay. The cords that are the lateral, medial, and the posterior cord, they are arranged around the second part of the axillary artery. Here you have got the axillary artery, and in relation to the axillary artery we have got, this is the axillary artery, okay, and in relation to this we have got these 3 cords. This is the lateral cord, this is the posterior cord, and this is the medial cord, okay. This is slightly retracted in upward direction, that's why the artery seems to be lying lower down, but this is the actual position of this artery. And the posterior cord, this lies behind the axillary artery, the second part of axillary artery. Lateral cord is called lateral because it is lying lateral to the axillary artery, while the medial cord, it basically lies medial to the axillary artery. Okay, this slide is already been discussed. Now, these are the branches of this slide shows the branches of the brachial plexus. Let's first discuss this in the theory. Okay, now the branches of the brachial plexus, they can be divided into various types depending upon from where these branches arise. Okay, we have got three branches of the brachial plexus that arise from the roots of the brachial plexus. Then from the trunk, the upper trunk, we have got single branch arising. Okay, no branch arises from the middle trunk or the lower trunk. Okay, just one branch that arises only from the upper trunk. Then no branch arises from any of the division. And then we have got cords, the lateral, medial, and the posterior cord, from which the branches arises. Respectively, there are basically three branches which are arising from the lateral cord, 5 branches from the medial cord, and 5 from the posterior cord. Okay, you can see in this diagram we have got 5 roots, C5, C6, C7, C8, and T1. And from here you can see the three branches arising. Okay, one is the dorsal scapular nerve. Okay, this is the first branch. The second branch is the branch arising from the C5, C6, and C7. And this long branch is known as the long thoracic nerve, arising from the C5, C6, and C7. Okay, then we have got another branch which basically arises from the T1, and this is known as the first intercostal nerve, T1. Okay, first intercostal nerve. Then a branch arises, then the branches which are arising from the superior trunk, these are the supraclavicular branch and nerve to subclavius. Okay, I repeat, from the superior trunk there are two branches arising. One is the suprascapular nerve, okay, double S, suprascapular nerve, and the other one is the N2S, or nerve to subclavius. Okay, suprascapular nerve and nerve to subclavius. Then we have got no branch arising from any of the division. But as we proceed towards the cords, the lateral, medial, and the posterior cords, we have got certain divisions. Okay, so we have got certain branches arising from these. Okay, from the lateral cord, as you have as you can see here, from the lateral cord, three branches arises. Okay, let me show you. One is the lateral pectoral nerve. Okay, lateral pectoral nerve, this is the first branch. The second one is the musculocutaneous nerve, and the third is lateral root to the median nerve. Okay, these are the three branches arising from the lateral cord. One is the lateral pectoral nerve, the second one is the musculocutaneous nerve, and the third one is the lateral root of the median nerve. These are the three branches arising from the lateral cord. Then from the posterior cord, we have got 5 branches arising. One is the upper subscapular nerve, the second one is the lower subscapular nerve, and the third one can be called as middle subscapular nerve, but it has got a more specific name, and this is known as, this is the thoracodorsal nerve. Okay, 3 branches: upper subscapular, lower subscapular, and the thoracodorsal nerve. Then the last 2 branches that are the terminal branches are the axillary nerve and the radial nerve. Axillary and the radial nerve. Okay, these are the 5 branches arising from the posterior cord. Then from the medial cord, we have got 5 branches, namely the medial pectoral nerve, medial cutaneous nerve of the arm, medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm. Okay, medial medial root. Okay, medial root to the median nerve, and the last one is the ulnar nerve. Okay, I repeat, 5 branches that arise from the medial cord are the MP nerve, medial pectoral nerve, MC nerves. Okay, medial cutaneous nerve, medial cutaneous nerve. This is from the for the arm, and this is for the forearm. This is the MP nerve. These two are the MC nerves, and then we've got medial root to the median nerve, and the last one is the ulnar nerve. Okay, Let me discuss with you another important thing. These five branches, these five nerves, the musculocutaneous nerve, axillary nerve, radial nerve, medial nerve, and the ulnar nerve, these five nerves are called the terminal branches of the brachial plexus, and these are the most important branches of the brachial plexus that basically innervate various parts of the upper limbs. Okay, and they can be memorized by the mnemonic MARMU, MARMU, MARMU: musculocutaneous nerve, axillary nerve, radial nerve, medial nerve, and the ulnar nerve. Okay. Here I want to correct one thing. From the root, three branches arise, but there is a slight mistake in this slide. From the upper trunk, we have got two branches arising. Okay. From our upper trunk, we have got two branches arising. Here you can see one is the SS nerve, suprascapular nerve, while the other one is the nerve to subclavius. So we have got two branches arising from the median nerve, and this is incorrect. This should be two. Okay, I deeply apologize for this slight mistake. Okay. As already discussed, from the roots three branches are arising: dorsal scapular nerve, nerve to subclavius, long thoracic nerve. Okay, then from the trunk we have got two branches. One is a suprascapular nerve. Okay, here you can see this is suprascapular nerve, and the other one is the nerve to subclavius. Okay, then we have got three cords from which various branches arises, and these are namely the lateral pectoral nerve, lateral root of the median nerve, and the musculocutaneous nerve, which arises from the lateral cord. From the medial cord we have got MP nerve, then medial root of the medial nerve, and the two MC nerves, medial cutaneous nerve of the arm and medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm, and the last one which is the ulnar nerve. Okay, then five branches from the posterior division, that are the upper subscapular nerve, lower subscapular nerve, thoracodorsal nerve, and two other branches that are the I show you here. Okay, posterior division, two other branches that are the axillary and the radial nerve. Okay, I already discussed the mnemonic MARMU, MARMU, MARMU mnemonic. This is for the memorization of the terminal branches or the end branches of the brachial plexus. Now the distribution of the main branches of the brachial plexus. Okay, sorry for the slight interruption. Let's continue. This slide shows just an overview of the distribution of the main nerves that are the terminal branches of the brachial plexus, namely the musculocutaneous nerve, median nerve, ulnar nerve, and axial nerve, and the last one, the radial nerve. Okay, musculocutaneous nerve, as the name indicates, musculo, it has got some muscular branches and cutaneous branches. Okay, this nerve is distributed to the muscles of the anterior compartment of the uh, arm. Okay, the flexor compartment. We have got our bicep muscle. Next, the median nerve, it is the uh, it basically supplies most of the flexor muscles of the forearm and intrinsic muscles of the hand. This is a long nerve and it is distributed up to the hand. Similar is the case with ulnar nerve, and it supplies the flexor carpi ulnaris and part of the flexor digitorum profundus. Okay, these are muscles of the forearm, I will show you in a while. And then the intrinsic muscles of the hand, it is also a long nerve and is distributed up to the arm. Next we have got axillary nerve, and it terminates soon at the shoulder and the deltoid region, and it supplies two major muscle. One is the deltoid muscle and the other one is the teres minor muscle. The last nerve, the radial nerve, it is also a long nerve and is distributed up to the hand, and it innervates all the extrinsic muscles of the arm and the forearm. Okay, now let's discuss one by one all these nerves in detail. The first nerve, the musculocutaneous nerve, its root value is C5, C6, and C7. As you can see here, this is the musculocutaneous nerve, and these are the three roots contributing into the musculocutaneous nerve. It has got two main functions, the motor function and the sensory function. It innervates the muscles on the anterior side of the arm, okay, the bicep muscle and its surrounding and its neighboring muscles. It innervates the brachialis muscle, biceps brachii, and coracobrachialis muscle, okay. The brachialis muscle and the coracobrachialis, these two are also the muscles of the arm, and they are the neighboring muscles of the bicep brachii muscle, okay. The second part, that is the sensory part of this nerve, which serves a sensory function. It gives basically gives off the uh, lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm, okay. Sensory nerve called as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the arm, of the forearm. This basically arises from the muscular cutaneous nerve, and this innervates the lateral half of the anterior forearm and a small lateral portion of the posterior forearm, okay. Here you can see in this diagram, this is the musculocutaneous nerve, and from this musculocutaneous nerve, two types of branches arise. One is the muscular branches. This is the muscular branch to coracobrachialis muscle. The second muscular branch is to the biceps brachii muscle. The third muscular branch is for the supply of the brachioradialis muscle. Then also, a branch known as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm arises, and this supplies the lateral part of the skin of the forearm. As the name indicates, lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm, the nerve dedicated for the sensory supply of the lateral part of the forearm, okay. This, the blue color, the lateral part of the forearm, this is basically supplied by a branch of the musculocutaneous nerve, and that branch is named as lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm, okay. This is all about the musculocutaneous nerve. Now let's proceed towards the axillary nerve. This is the nerve which has got its root value of C5 and C6, okay. C5 and C6, these two roots, they contribute into the axillary nerve, okay. It has also got a sensory and a motor function. In its motor functions, it innervates two main muscles. One is the deltoid muscle, and the other one is the teres minor muscle, okay. These are the two main muscle, but other than these two main muscle, also one of the head, tricep muscle, it has got three main heads, okay, three main heads. So the tricep muscle has got three heads, and one of them is called the long head of the tricep muscle, and this is also supplied by the axillary nerve, okay. The sensory function of the axillary nerve are that it gives off a branch, and this is called as the superior lateral cutaneous nerve of the arm, okay. From muscular cutaneous nerve, we have discussed that a branch arises known as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm, while from the axillary nerve, a branch arises known as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the arm, okay. And this innervates the inferior region of the deltoid, okay. In this slide, you can see this is the axillary nerve. This is the axillary nerve. It gives off a branch to the deltoid. Also, it gives a branch to the long head of the tricep muscle. And then it goes off a branch known as the superior lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. Sorry, superior lateral cutaneous nerve of the arm. And the color pink in the diagram, this region or the deltoid region, this region or the deltoid area, this is basically supplied by the axillary nerve, okay. Next is the radial nerve. It has got its root value from C5, C6, C7, C8, and the T1. That is, all the five roots of the brachial plexus contribute into the radial nerve. And it has got two functions, the sensory function and the motor function. The motor function is that it innervates the tricep brachii muscle and the extrinsic muscle, sorry, the extensor muscle in the posterior compartment of the forearm. The muscle which are innervated by the radial nerve, they basically extend the arm at the elbow, and also it extends the wrist joint. Okay, the extensor muscles, all the extensor muscles, whether they are in the arm or in the forearm, all of them, they are supplied by the radial nerve. And uh, in sensory functions, it innervates the posterior aspect of the arm and forearm, and also parts of the hand. Here in the diagram you can see the colored blue colored regions, okay, on the lateral side of the arm, forearm, and the hand. Okay, all of these, they are supplied by the radial nerve. Okay, next we have the median nerve. It has got its root value uh, from C6, C7, C8, and T1. It has got two functions, the motor function and the sensory function. In its motor function, it innervates most of the flexor muscles of the forearm. Okay, most of the flexor muscles of the forearm. We have already discussed that the extensor muscles of the forearm are all supplied by the radial nerve or one of its branches. Okay, but we are left with the flexor muscles of the forearm, which are supplied by the median nerve or the ulnar nerve. Okay, so we have got some of the flexor muscles. They are in majority, and they are supplied by the median nerve. Okay, and its sensory function, part of the hand, including the lateral 3.5 fingers, these are supplied by the median nerve. Then the ulnar nerve has got its root value of C8 and T1, and it supplies the muscles of the hand apart from thenar muscle and two lateral umbilical muscles, okay, which are supplied by the median nerve. And also some of the flexors of the forearm, they are the flexor carpi ulnaris and middle half of the flexor digitorum profundus, that are supplied by the ulnar nerve. And in its sensory innervation, it supplies the middle 1.5 finger and the corresponding part of the palm. Okay,